Yo, what is going on? I appreciate everybody for tuning into this live stream. As always, thank you. I got to make sure the mic situation squared away. Thank you to the over 17,000 subscribers who support the channel, everybody who view, watch, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, leave a comment. Everybody, shout out to the members too. A big shout out to the members. I'm definitely appreciative and grateful. And you all are the producers of the show. So if there's something you want me to dive into or talk about, hey, reach out to me, IG, Facebook, any of that stuff, and we'll definitely get we'll place a priority on the topics that the members to the channel want to discuss, because y'all the executive producers of the show. Now, in this video, we're going to dive in and talk about the last Thornton Township meeting. I know I haven't normally I ought to do it a little bit sooner, but the lives are on Wednesday and Thursday, and it gives me some time to just kind of see what happens in the overall arena of the news media outlets, so we can figure out what good things to talk about. In light of the election yesterday, and I don't know, some people, y'all either out there smiling or y'all out there crying, or y'all like me, y'all just kind of like, do what you got to do in your house, because it's about your house, not the White House. In any event, in light of the election results that, I'm gonna just be honest, didn't surprise me at all. Anybody who know me, who had a conversation with me, I wasn't surprised at the outcome for a plethora of reasons. But we're going to talk about Tiffany Henyard's post to the MAGA king, Donald Trump, after his big election win. We're going to talk a little bit about it, and I don't know, how it's interesting and how it's kind of smart. There's a little bit of gamesmanship going on. And then we're going to dive into the last Thornton Township meeting. As always, we're not watching the whole fucking video. we aren't watching the whole video. It's something that we just aren't going to do. But we do have timestamps throughout the videos, and we're going to talk about certain topics, and then we're going to get out of here. Hey, disclaimer, licensed attorney, not your attorney, infotainment purposes, not legal advice, just, hey, me giving my opinion and takes on topics and current events. So let's go ahead, dive into Tiffany Henyard going full-blown MAGA, and more importantly, why do we think that she went full-blown MAGA? Let's go ahead and cue this up. Well, let's do it that way. Let's do it this way. I think this is the best way to look at it. Let's do it this way. All right. So right here, we are 11,000 followers, Tiffany Henyard's Facebook page, and we are going to go to 13 hours ago, her post that she made to President Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and pull it up so we can read this, and then we're going to chop it up and figure out what was the reason behind this. Well, actually, before that, let's take a look at this video real quick, because, I don't think nobody will be surprised. I think everybody knows who Tiffany Henyard was issuing her vote for. But let's just watch a little bit of this clip to see how excited she was for the election. We're not going to do more than a minute on this. Then we're going to go to the comments and to her post and talk about it.
You know me, I'm all with the women's movement. Hey guys, it's your Super Mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard, the People's Supervisor / in Mayor. Today is election day. I hope you guys are super duper excited, because today we get to find out who will be our president. So I pray that it will be, you know me, I'm all with the women's movement, Miss Harris. So make sure you go and cast your vote. I know it's rainy, I know it's gloomy, I understand the weather's messed up, but do not, I repeat, do not allow that to stop your voice. Your voice matters, your voice counts, but you have to go out and vote. If you don't go out and vote, I always say this, you lose your right to complain. Don't be complaining about nothing if you don't want to go change it or fix it. But you have time to do it now. The voting place closed at 7 p.m. You got 2 hours, 2 more hours before it's just all over, and they do their countdown. So stay tuned, because today history is being made, whether you like it or not. But be part of the history, be part of the story.
She right about that. History is being made, whether you like it or not. All right, so that's her post. She's clearly blue. She's clearly supporting Harris. She went in. She's essentially said that. And now we're going to talk about her comment after Donald Trump pulled off a win in the electoral votes. but also in the popular vote, which is wild because that hardly ever happens for Republicans. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Her post says, "Congratulations, President Trump. You are now the 47th president. You have made history by coming back and winning the president of the United States. With the big comeback, now let's work together. To all my supporters, let's work together and put our differences aside. Trump is now our president, and we must find a common ground to reach across the aisle and focus on next step. President Trump, as the supervisor of Thornton Township and the mayor of Dalton, I would like to sit down with you and talk to you about helping the people throughout the Thornton Township. I have a lot of great ideas, and I believe we can work together for the greater good. With that being said, let's make America great again. I also sent you a message. Check your inbox." Then she put a whole bunch of hashtags. None of them was hashtag Trump or hashtag MAGA or any of that stuff. So I don't know how or if it's going to be on this radar. But let's talk about that, okay? What's good, Chris? What's good, Chris? I appreciate you tuning in, brother. Shout out to you for dropping the first comment of the day, as always. Gotta give you a round of applause. A round of applause for everybody who watching, who gonna watch them. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this post by Tiffany Henyard. I mean, one, it's probably the correct post to make. You already said your affiliation was to Harris. Trump won. I think it's the right thing to say. Hey, congratulations, you're the president. No matter how you vote, we always, I mean, well, not always, but generally, it will behoove people. It generally would behoove people to want the president to do well. I don't care if it's red, blue, black, brown, checker, because at the end of the day, hey, if he don't do well, it impacts us all. That's just kind of how it is. So she's clearly for Harris. She posted this comment to President Trump. I think it's the smart thing to do, even though you didn't vote for him. It's cool to give him a congratulations. But there is a little bit of gamesmanship. And I know this from being a government employee, seeing this happen multiple times. If it were me, if I were elected as the president-elect of the 47th president of the United States, two agencies I would really be concerned with identifying the leadership that I would want would be the Department of Justice and the FBI. Now, I think everybody who's watching know why I would be enamored with changing those, but that's common. Like no president, unless it was like J. Edgar Hoover and he had files on everybody. Typically, the director of the FBI shifts every presidential cycle. The Attorney General for the United States shifts every presidential cycle or within the cycle. But those two positions are the most important because one, they put the executive thumbprint on how they want to run the enforcement branch of the government. But two, I mean, if I had federal investigations and potential even more federal criminal exposure, of course I would want to put my person in place in charge of the DOJ and the FBI because let's just keep it a buck. They could make a prosecution and or investigation not viable in the best interest of justice. Now, the interest of justice is one of those things that prosecutors or investigators use when they don't want to do something just cause. The interest of justice can be it's too close to the statute of limitations, it's not enough of a loss or harm here, or we just don't have the resources and manpower to look at it. So those are the two top positions. Now, here's where some gamesmanship come in because one, I think it's funny that she actually says she sent Trump a DM as if he's going to reply, but that's a whole nother story. But two, if I were a local mayor under federal scrutiny because federal subpoenas were issued and there's an inquiry into me, the FBI don't investigate people not to pursue criminal charges. Everything starts out as a criminal investigation. And then once they get the facts, the prosecutors make a determination if they're going to go criminal or if they're going to go civil. So with that in mind, hey, President Trump, the 47th president, has the power. He has the power to issue pardons. So, hey, I'm just saying, if it would probably behoove me if I was under a federal investigation to try to make in good with the one person who could potentially do something to make that federal investigation go away. Now, how pardons work are interesting. Normally, it's some type of campaign on behalf of a social justice organization. Normally, it's Kim Kardashian who's arguing something on behalf of a social justice situation. Normally, it could be favors where, hey, as a favor to you, these persons are going to be pardoned of certain crimes or certain things that they have going on. So there's plenty of reasons that it can happen, but I think there's a little bit of gamesmanship there. One is the right thing to do to congratulate the person who won the president elect. I don't give a damn to who it is. But two, if I'm under federal investigation, it makes sense to see if I could get some FaceTime with the one person in the country who could actually do something to make my federal investigation go a little bit more favorable and or possibly disappear. So it's going to be interesting. I think the mayor's event that they had at the White House where Tiffany Henyard attended and got FaceTime with Biden, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I read in an article that that's something that's done and is commonly done under any president. So it'll be interesting to see if Tiffany Henyard is still amongst the free and still in her elected position by the time Trump takes office, when he has that mayoral event where he invites the mayors of different cities to come to the White House. It'll be interesting. One, if she shows up. Two, if she charges the money to the right municipality because she didn't the first time when she went. And three, if she's actually in a position to get some FaceTime with the president. So that's going to be interesting. But I just wanted to touch bases on that real quick. Let me jump up in the comments, see what's going on before we dive into the previous Thornton Township video and talk about it. Pro woman, when MAGA on emotion, vibes, and feelings, can't be on policy. Trump talks punishment, deportations, etc. Not policy. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, shout out to you. This is my theory on it. One, I wasn't surprised at the outcome. That was the outcome I picked. I didn't think it would be as much of a wide margin in the popular vote, but I anticipated that it was going to relatively be an easy campaign. I don't know. It's weird. Let me give my little 2-minute rant on how I think this plays out, or my take on this. Generally, my position is always this because I think it's always true. Is a lot more important what's going on in your house as opposed to what's going on in the White House. So I never understand the rationale. This is just me, of everyone getting all emotionally invested in every 4 years of who we're voting for. Cast your vote and keep it pushing. I don't care, donkey, unicorn, elephant, whatever it is you want to do. But people get so invested in this every 4 years, so emotionally caught up. Then after they vote, 4 years go by, then the next election, people in the same damn position. To me, that's a problem. So it doesn't make a difference who in the White House. I'm gonna make sure my situation is election proof by trying to make the right moves to put my family in the right position, economically, physically, socially, mentally, all of that good stuff. I want to make sure we are always in the right position to eat. That's point number one. Point number two is, how can I put this? Generally, I think people don't like being told what to do. All right, these are three things that I think were issues with how Harris ran her campaign that led to it just kind of being abysmal. I think there's 3 points. I'm gonna make three. I got maybe 4 or 5, but we're gonna talk about three. Generally, people don't like being told what to do. If I went up to a stranger and said, "Yo, I'm gonna give you $200, but you got to spend it at Home Depot," the first thing they're gonna say is, "Why I got to spend it at Home Depot?" So people don't want to be deprived of a choice. When you have a person who is essentially handed the nomination without going through any type of primary process, it just makes the entire process look inconsistent with everything that we think democracy is. And people just didn't like that. Some people didn't like that. Like, I think that it should have been a primary. I don't care if it was 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I think it was 100 days out. She should have been on stage against Kennedy, and they have a debate, and she beats Kennedy. And if she doesn't beat the Kennedy, she doesn't deserve it. But I think that's point number one. I think without a primary, a lot of people felt it was handed over. Point number two, this is just me. I can just speak for myself. I can't speak for you all. But I don't know. Like, I don't really care and give a damn about what an entertainer has to say. I don't care about who LeBron James is supporting. I don't give a shit about who Glorilla or Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B is supporting. I just don't care. I don't care if you bring the worst rapper in the group, the Migos, on stage to talk about why I should vote for you. I do not care about what any of those people think. I don't care if a rapper who used to be a stripper says, I used to drug guys and rob them. I don't care. I don't care about what any of those people have to think. And so I was having a debate with a friend, and this friend of mine said, well, don't you think those type of events bring young people out? And I do. I do think those type of events, if you got Beyonce and the Migos and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, people are going to come out. But the people who are coming out, are they coming out because they're hyped to vote, or are they coming out to see a free concert and keep it moving? Half of those people, I ain't gonna say half, but I'm sure a good percentage of people who came out to see the entertainers, they probably didn't even fucking go vote. So I've never been a fan of all the entertainers. I'm like, hey, in the words of Malcolm X, I don't like entertainers speaking for me because they can't relate to the average person. That's just me. And the last thing is, I think that kind of was wild. So lack of a choice. People don't like being told what to do. With no primary, you kind of force somebody. That's just me. I think the second thing was you lean too much into the urban entertainer game. Like, I just don't care what rappers have to say about politics generally. Generally, there are a few where I'd be like, oh, I think we universally revere this person as being relatively intelligent. But Migos, no, I don't care what Quavo has to say. That's just me. And I think the last thing was, it was a weird pivot that was taken. This is just me. This is just my observation, but this is why I knew it was going to end the way it did. I think it was a weird pivot when she first announced her candidacy to get the nomination. And she was like, for 30 days, I felt like she did all the right things. She kind of separated from Biden and did all the right things. Then the last 60 days or the last 70 days, it kind of, to me, it looked like it pivoted towards, hey, the corporations are going to love me. I'm doing all of these tours with Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, and I'm going to have a bunch of Republicans in my cabinet. And I get what you're trying to say. You want a diverse cabinet so you can get diverse ideas, but is probably not the greatest look to be going on a tour with like the Cheneys, who have like the lowest approval rate. And Dick Cheney, I think, had like an 18 or 20% approval rate before Bush left office. Like, it was just, I don't know. I think it helps to have some fresh thoughts and not a bunch of older people managing the campaign. But I wasn't surprised that it turned out how it did. That's just kind of what it is. Unfortunately, hey, we all got to roll with the punches. But I'm not surprised at all. We got to roll with the punches. If whoever is in office substantially dictates how you move in your home, you should probably refocus on what you got going on in your house. Because, I mean, my position is I just don't give a damn whoever's in there. I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure I'm in a position to succeed. So I think that everybody should do the same. Now, nobody know if I'm MAGA. Nobody know if I'm Harris. All I say is, before we move on to the Thornton Township video, is, hey, I've done more for my country than just pay taxes. So I reserve the right to vote for whoever I want to vote for. We just leave it at that. I thought she voted for Trump when you teased like she did. Nah, nah, she probably should have voted for Trump if she want a pardon. Yeah, Trump should. Oh, he's definitely going to do that. He's definitely going to do that, Chris. Well, without a doubt, there's no way. I mean, that's just standard politics. He should clean house where they are prosecuting him on many levels for laws he didn't break while they were breaking laws, which is crazy. Now, let us see how the investigation on insider trading goes. Hey, insider trading is actually legal for Congress. They actually got an app. I was talking about my neighbor. They got an app where you can follow like Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio. She making like something crazy. She making a crazy return. It's wild. Remember that when they prosecuted Martha Stewart, she was prosecuted for the same insider trading with less money than Nancy Pelosi. That's facts, but the laws allow Congress to engage in insider trading. Shout out to AA Legal Focus. Yo, this is a friend of the channels. We've done some collabs together on my channel and her channel. And if you're interested in interesting legal stories, you should definitely check out her content. Great content. And she have a lot of dope guests on as well. For facts, celebrity endorsement ain't hitting like they used to for black folks. Anyway, Joe Rogan endorsement maybe helped Trump a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But yeah, I'm not like I don't know. Low key, when you got like Cardi B's talking about politics, to me that's actually more insulting than encouraging. I'm like, hey, why you think I give a damn about what she got to say? I don't know. That's just me. All right, let's go ahead and cue up this video. And before we start into the video, I'm actually gonna go through the timestamps. Let me pull up the timestamps because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't look at this video. Like it's disingenuous if I don't look at the video. So I'm gonna go through, read the timestamps so we can see what the timestamps say, and this way it allows me to see what sections we should jump on, or y'all can let me know in the comments what sections y'all want to check out. And a shout out to the Lansing Journal. It's a media outlet. They actually do great content there, and they put these great timestamps up of all of these Dalton events, so we can really see what's going on without having to watch 2 hours and get a fucking headache. All right, so first marker, annotated video of the October 30th special meeting. Pass. Okay. Let's start at number. We'll start there. Private investigator serves the Henyard with eviction notice. Welcome and shade call. Welcome and shade called the order. Pledge of allegiance. Trustee Gonzalez make a motion to allow Trustee Carmen Carlisle to participate by phone. Request for the approval of the minutes. Request for a motion adoption budget. Another budget. General fund. Next up is request for a motion for Thornton Township to adopt Robert rules to orders. Okay, these are essentially I did a video a couple of weeks ago where we went through the agenda and kind of made a call on what provisions would get passed and which would not. So this is the same agenda essentially. Robert's Rules of Order is just a book where author laid out how a political entity or how a municipality should be structured, and it sets a set of guidelines for the township to follow, which they need. They need it. They need it bad as hell because their policies is terrible. I'm actually thinking about doing a video on Friday on why her recall failed, and I've been looking over 2 cases associated with her recall effort, and it goes to they need to adopt Robert rules because they got a little bit of we don't know what the hell we have going on there. Next up is the request for approval on health insurance plan, dental plan. We talked about supervisors 100% tax refund for homeowners. A trustee walks out. Okay. Members of the public to speak. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so we're going to start at I know the perfect place to start. Y'all let me know in the comments if there's something. Always, you are not only a friend of the channel, you are our family. You're part of my YouTube family. You part of my legal family down there where I got my legal roots from. So shout out to you and shout out to your channel as well. Y'all make sure y'all go check out. Eminem spoke about. I don't care what Eminem has to say about politics either. like, I get why like someone would care what like somebody like a Beyonce, like very very good business mind. I generally don't care what an entertainer got to say, but certain people I would be willing to listen to. But like, nah, Eminem, ex strippers who are rappers, I don't really care about. Yeah. I don't know, bro. Everybody's different. While more Black Americans offended by politicians on every level, local, state, and federal, they actually treat us like adolescents publicly for years. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think it's a thing of hey, I think some persons politicians forgot that they have to do things to earn votes. They believe that they're entitled to them because of what they believe they've done in the past, and that's not the case. Big Tiff is fishing for a pardon. Hey, shout out to you. That was that's my thought exactly. I don't know though. Y'all think Trump giving out pardons for free, or y'all think is a little potentially a favor for a favor? I don't know. I don't know. How much y'all think a pardon costs if you wanted to get a pardon and a politician was putting the price tag on it? That's a lot of money. And if you're getting evicted, I don't know if you can even swing the pardon rate, whatever the going rate it is. Yeah. That was horrible when he showed his support. I'm in Michigan and we have been trying to flip it. Just too many malfunctions during the elections. Okay, in the past. Now look at God finally. Facts. All right, let's dive in on this video. We're gonna start off at let's see. We're gonna start off. Remember, shout out to the Lansing Journal for dropping this video, and we'll start it at here. Getting served an eviction. I did a video where I reviewed the interview Tiffany Henyard's landlord did, and she talked about the situation. And I'm gonna be honest, it was a little bit of a self-inflicted wound. Anytime you bring somebody into your rental without doing a background check or a credit check, like, come on, that's rule number one. All right, so let's start it at here, and we'll watch, and then we'll jump to the next scene.
Thank you, ma'am.
She just got served.
We did that quick. They gave that a round of applause.
I actually called. I was asleep.
All right, we're gonna skip to the next scene. She just got served with her eviction notice. We talked about it in the reaction to the interview with Tiffany Henyard's landlord. It was pretty much, I'm gonna be honest, it was self-inflicted wounds. Y'all could go back and see that video. I'll probably link it in the first comment below to this video as well. Next, let's take a pivot and go to something a little bit more interesting. And we're going to take a look at, okay, a motion is made by Trustee Gonzalez. Then we're going to rap about it.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. So there are no reports or presentations. Next, the clerk would like to make an announcement. Go ahead, clerk.
We need a motion to allow Carmen Carlisle to deliver the conference by phone.
Now, just a little bit of background. The reason that they're making this motion to allow Trustee Carlisle to participate by phone, which I think is a fair motion, is because she has a restraining order against a person who is commonly at these events. This person, Keith Price, is an ally of Tiffany Henyard. And I'm going to just be honest, I think that's a reasonable request to allow them to participate virtually. During the pandemic, all of this shit was done virtually. The business can still be taken care of in an effective manner. She's not missing out on anything. So I think it's fair to go, but that's where we are. That's what they're asking for, and that's why they're asking for it.
I have a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to allow Trustee Carlisle to join via phone.
There's a second.
No.
No.
There's no second.
It's funny because nobody has a microphone but her. So you could barely hear everybody else, but you could expressly hear her. But they made a motion, someone seconded it, and she was just like, nah, fam. Tiffany Henyard's response was no. That was what she said.
No. There's no second because there's been over a month. You have not been here. You should have showed up to the board meeting to take care of the business. All these games have to stop. We are here, you should be here. We cannot sit here and have phone calls. We need to be here to take care of the people's business. That's it, that's all. We're here, so we will proceed with this meeting.
We've done this before.
Okay, and you know the rules, hold on, you know the rules. If you do not get a second, that means you do not have a motion to do so.
So you're not allowing.
I just answered that question, so, all right. All
Okay,
right,
they
moving
didn't
on.
get a second.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting held September 24th, 2024?
Man, these guys are kind of soft. Like I don't know. I always feel like these trustees don't really stand up and fight for it. I'm gonna go through. All right, I'm gonna skip through the budget stuff. Well, let's watch one. Watch one. There's 3 different links on budget items. We'll watch one, and then we're gonna jump to them adopting the Robert's Rules of Order, which they need because the recall was in her capacity as mayor, and that got bungled. So I'm making an assumption that the village of Dalton and the Thornton Township are a little bit loosey-goosey when it comes to their rules and when it comes to their procedures.
For bills. Is there a motion to approve the general fund? Is there a second to approve the general fund? Is there a second to approve the general fund? That's why we're here, just so y'all know. We're here to pay bills.
They trying to approve
Is
the
there a
general
second
fund
to pay
and
the
nobody's
bills?
seconding
You guys have
anything.
been missing over a month.
They
So
all
I'm gonna
want
pay
to
the bills,
bullshit.
or the bills gonna back up. It's shameful that we have $9 million surplus here at Thornton Township and nobody wants to pay the bills. The township plus.
Did we ever confirm the $9 million surplus? This is a surplus I keep hearing about, but I don't think any receipts are.
Correct. So is there a motion to pay the bills? Okay, again, I will second the motion to pay the bills, the Thornton Township, and to make sure you get your services, residents. The motion and second, discussion. Call the roll.
Trustee Gray Everett.
Yeah.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Carlisle. Supervisor Henyard.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next, is there a motion to approve the general assistant fund?
Okay, they actually look like they trying to get some work done today. That's a big departure from what we normally see. So they look like they actually trying to get some work done. Let's jump here because this is actually interesting. I think this should pass. Whether they should adopt Robert Rules of Order, which they need desperately because loosey-goosey with
Motion
rules.
for Thornton Township to adopt our rules of order. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Is there a second? All right, I'll second. Because we have a motion and second. Any discussion?
What's going with
Yes, that's exactly this.
Robert Rules of Orders is something that most municipalities, cities.
Well, I mean, I already did follow them. Maybe with the exception.
I don't know if y'all saw that. Hey,
You're not residents. I promise you, I am residents.
Maybe with the exception.
shout out to him I normally don't think of Gonzalez as having like much backbone. He pretty soft spoken and doesn't say much. But again, Robert's Rules of Orders are just a set of rules that municipalities use to give them some type of structure. And this was actually hilarious because you can't hear what he say because everybody else doesn't have a microphone. But shout out to them for putting the transcript at the bottom. They made the motion. Tiffany Henyard seconded the motion to adopt these rules for the municipality to use moving forward. Gonzalez asked, what is this about? She explains what it is, what I told you it is. And his response is, we've already been following them except for you. Everybody's been following Robert's Rules of Order except for you. I thought that was hey, shout out to him for actually having a spine on that. That was pretty
That
good.
most municipalities, cities,
I mean, we already did following them. Maybe with the exception of you.
right.
So what is exactly the stop?
Okay. I'm gonna keep it neat today. I'm gonna try my best for my residents. I think I'm trying a resident. I'm gonna be better because you got to because y'all know I'm real slick with it. So as it relates to a motion to adopt the Robert Rules of Order, you should know because you have been a trustee prior to me coming here. So you should know exactly what that entails. Unfortunately, Thornton Township don't have a lot of things in order. So we're trying to get things in order and make sure that people understand that we have adopted Robert Rules of Order. So, sir, it's either you want to adopt them or you do not. So which one is it?
We already followed.
All of them and adopted them are two different.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
want to place this on the books. That's it, that's all. So do you want to vote for it? Do you want to vote on?
Hey, I know y'all gonna say I'm soft, but I agree with him. If you have rules that you're following, but you haven't officially adopted those rules in some type of codified legislation, you probably should. Hey, good points aren't made all the time by Tiffany Henyard, but I think that's a fair point that I actually agree with. It makes sense. If you're following rules, you probably should adopt them and have something down, formalized, something memorialized to show that these are the rules that we're following here on out. That's a good point.
Because you can do all the jobs, okay, order, because this ain't gonna be a show today. So either you want it or you don't. When you want order, it's either you want to do it or you don't. I am calling. All right, moving forward. It's been a motion and second to approve Robert Rules of Order. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Gray Everett. Trustee Carla, Maynard Gonzalez.
No.
Trustee Carlisle. Supervisor Henyard.
Yes, of course.
Motion failed.
But y'all just pay attention. When they put things on here, they want structure for the township. That's how it goes. We put things on here, we want structure for township, it's a negative, because it don't go to their betterment. Next, we
Hey, shout out to Tiffany Henyard. I think that was actually a very fair point. Really, it just comes off as Trustee Gonzalez is kind of looking petty. Let's go ahead and pivot and jump forward to one that I have questions about: the $100 tax what the hell is it? I said $100. That's what it. 100% tax refund for all homeowners.
supervisors, 100% tax refund for all homeowners.
There's no way in hell this is going to pass. I haven't seen this, but I'm shocked if this passed. There's no way in hell that this will pass.
Supervisors, 100% tax refund for all homeowners of Thornton
I'd like
Township.
to make a motion. I'd like to make the motion, having done all the necessary business, I'd like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Now, you know you're not gonna win that. I don't even like that. While we adjourn the meeting, it's right now, we're here to take care of business. So residents, you see what's going on. There's no motion for an adjournment. We're here to handle the business, trustee. So, as I was stating, it was,
Motion to adjourn.
okay, there's no second, so. If you're following Robert Rules of Orders, which I advise you to adopt, you will understand how this goes. If it's a motion on the floor, hold on, let me explain.
Hey, we didn't watch all of this, but what we watching so far, this sounds crazy. I know y'all gonna try to jump me in the comments, but I think she's making a fair point. I think she made two fair points. I think she made a fair point about Robert's Rules of Order. You should adopt the damn rules if you're using them, which he even said that they're using. And I think this is another fair point with him making a motion to adjourn in the middle of the meeting. It's actually making him look at kind of goofy and emotional, in my personal
As I was
opinion.
stating, it was,
Motion to adjourn.
okay, there's no second, so. If you're following Robert Rules of Orders, which I advise you to adopt, you will understand how this goes. If it's a motion on the floor, hold on, let me explain to the rest of the understanding. If there's a motion on the floor and you fail to get a second, then it fails. We're moving on. The residents are here today to keep about exactly what's going on as it relates to township business. So we can handle the business, guys. We even gotta have something really important with our bank account. So all that's on the agenda. So adjourning for what? Why did you come to a meeting if you don't want to handle the business? Why? Like, stop playing these games. There's too many games. We here to handle the business, not let the business handle us. That's what we are elected to do, sir. So please, let's continue. We're here to talk about something important. We're giving away $2.2 million to the residents of Thornton Township. We are giving you guys a tax refund, something that you need, something that you all complain about as it relates to your property taxes. For those that don't know, this is what we have going on. Is there a motion to approve the tax refund?
All right, we got to pause it right there because we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this for a minute. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. Molly, I appreciate you tuning in, sis, as well. Exactly. That's what we talked about when we saw it on the agenda a couple of weeks ago. It looks like just a finesse move to get votes. Some people in that video who actually live in the Thornton Township said it's not the first time that happened before, and it was amount of $100 or less or something that was given back. But I don't know. I think this is ironic because early on when I first started covering this issue, I was like, yo, how the hell did she even get this position? And the same person who's getting up walking out was the same person who actually nominated her threw her hat in the ring, threw her name in the hat, so to speak, threw her hat in the ring. I'll way the fuck off. Who threw her name in a hat to actually serve as the supervisor. So the same person who essentially shares a big part of the responsibility for dealing with all this tomfoolery is the same person who wants to walk out now. And I'm gonna just be honest. I gotta agree with on these points. I think that Tiffany Henyard was right, even though there's a lot of gamesmanship, misappropriation of funds, potentially some illegal campaign contributions, and a lot of things going on with what she does. I think her point regarding the Robert's Rules of Order was right. I think her point regarding him wanting to make this motion to adjourn because he didn't do what he needed to do. I think his statement was something like, I haven't done the proper research I needed to do, so I'm asking for a motion to adjourn. Like, no, shit don't end just because you're not prepared. If you're not prepared, you better figure out something. You better have a staffer or something, but you can't just, who goes to a meeting unprepared and say, yo, I'm unprepared. Let's call off this meeting to give me time to prepare when you knew this shit was coming. From the looks of it, this dude has been planning this walkout probably for 2 weeks. He has a telltale sign of a nervous cue. He crosses his leg. He bounces his foot. So this is like it. Nothing about this is given unscripted. It's actually funny that the person who nominated her for that role is the person who's given up all this point. And I think that Tiffany Henyard in this instance is actually making a fair point. Like, bro, you here to handle the business. How you going to try to adjourn and just walk out because you weren't prepared? Hey, a broke clock is right twice a day. Now, all the claps in the audience to her comments, those probably some paid goon for hire. I don't think that's genuine and authentic of how people feel about her in the community. I think that was goons for hire, but a fair point is a fair point. And I think that she made a fair point. It's wild how she got this position, the position of mayor. I mean, people were dying. All the craziest things that could happen actually happened for her to be in both of those positions. It's actually wild. And I don't know. I know a lot of people like to think that she's not smart, but she has some intelligence ways about her. I'm gonna pull up. Let me see if I can find it right now because I think I got it up. Yeah, I have 2 court cases One from 20. This one long too, so I got to break it down. That's why I didn't do it tonight. This is from October 6th of 2022, and the other one is from January 11th, 2016. The October case is when they tried to recall Tiffany Henyard, and she challenged it in court and was successful. The 2016 case was from another challenge that Tiffany Henyard asserted in court related to a recall. So she had some experience with challenging recalls before that she used to her advantage to address the challenge that she did in her position as mayor. So there's a little bit of gamesmanship, but those opinions are too long, so I got to break them down before we dive into it. Trump gave Kwame Kilpatrick a pardon, so Tiff is going to suck up to Trump, so she's covered when the feds come knocking. Now, hey, yo, shout out to you. You are 100% right that he did give Kwame Kilpatrick a pardon. But when Kwame Kilpatrick got out, Kwame Kilpatrick had that multi-million-dollar mansion. So I'm going to say, this is just me, okay? I think that Kwame Kilpatrick, whatever he did with his money, whether it was legitimate or illegitimate, I don't know. I don't know if the money he has now is from ill-gotten gains or not. But whatever he did with his money, he was actually smart with it. And when he got out of custody, he actually had money. I don't know if y'all seen the interview. It was an interview did on Kwame Kilpatrick where the news reporter asked him, like, yo, how could you afford this place? How could you afford this place? And he kind of just was like, let me get out of here. So I don't know. I think that I don't know. Like, I don't think that. I mean, this is just me. Generally, if I'm a politician, I'm giving pardons for two reasons. Well, three reasons. One, it could be something that I feel passionately about that makes sense. Two, it's some type of social injustice, or a person did a complete 360 and they'll get a pardon. Three, if it's a political connection. If you've been donating to the party for years, you're probably gonna get a plug. That's just kind of how it go. And I don't know. The fourth reason is a favor for a favor. You got to give me a favor. I don't know. I mean, unless she gets it for free out of the kindness of the president's heart, I don't know what she could offer President Trump that would make him want to issue her a pardon. I mean, I just don't see. I don't know. I mean, but I do agree with it. I do agree that, hey, she reached out to Trump for purposes of, hey, let me grease the track a little bit, just in case a little bit later on we got to circle back around. So I do agree with that comment, but I don't know if she has the pull or the resources. I'll be honest, I don't know if she has the pull or resources to be able to even have a conversation with Trump. Like when she went to go see Biden, nobody, like Biden at that point was on some Weekend at Bernie stuff. Like he probably don't even remember the conversation he had with her. Let's just be honest. I don't even know if she has the pull or resources to be able to get into Trump's ear, so to speak, to bend his ear. That's my thoughts. As a transportation and logistic manager, I fired a supervisor for being stupid. There was little to no pushback after he was in the position for 10 years before I arrived. I agree. You got to get most people are in the job, doing the job, and they do the bare minimum to do the job and never go above and beyond. They actually might be performing as a deficiency. They actually might be below the curve, but organizations, sometimes people value the time of an employee as opposed to that employee's actual contribution. But I was in that position before too, Chris. So I feel you. Where I was a new guy. I ascended very quickly, and I was in charge. The first thing I did was cut dead weight, because if I didn't, it was more work for me, and I wasn't doing that. He was stupid and racist. What is worse, he didn't see that he was costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just give it to black and white employees at the same rate as whites. That's interesting. There was no need for temps or independent operators going forward. They literally had an argument in the upper management on how they were accountable. So yeah, sometimes if you're in a position where you could take out the trash, you probably need to take out the trash. But I have seen the opposite. I've seen people who've been in that position, and they didn't have the unilateral authority to be able to fire someone. They had to go through 4 or 5 people, and people were so scared of a lawsuit or retaliation, but they would be like, "Nah, I would rather keep a non-valuable employee around as opposed to terminate them and risk litigation." I don't know, but when I go through those things and do things like that, I make sure I cross all my T's and dot all my I's. We're gonna do the performance improvement plan. We're gonna have everything documented so that you know, hey, when we punish you up out of here, it's because we went through all appropriate avenues to do what we can do to try to rehabilitate this person. All right, but I think he was on this walkout. I thought he was kind of corny.
So moved. Is
In
there
my
a
personal
second?
opinion.
Call the roll.
Trustee Gray Everett.
He's still in the building. You finish with this roll call.
Trustee Gray Everett. Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Carlisle. Supervisor Henyard.
Yes.
The motion failed.
All right, so here we go. One of the individuals walked out of the meeting, so of course you know that means we don't have any quorum. So today, we cannot take any more action as relates to the agenda items. I just want you to see for yourself the games that are being played here at Thornton Township. It's
This is another instance of why they should adopt Robert's rule or have some contingency plan. Once you have a quorum established, if someone walks out of a meeting without a motion to adjourn the meeting passing, you should still maintain that quorum, just absent that person's vote. If you can still pass it with the majority of the persons who remain after that walkout, you should still be able to do business. So it's things like that show where some inefficient shit is with regard to their rules.
shameful that that individual wants to rerun for re-election, but we're not sitting in this seat to take care of the business of the people. So for those that want to stay, please stay. Those that want to leave, you can leave now. I will just talk as though it's a town hall meeting, and I'll go over everything that was on this agenda so you will know what you are missing out on. And this is what I was trying to tell those people, because when the news showcase things, like I said, it's fake news. They only show the negativity, but they don't show you what just happened. Well, thank you. So when they leave, when everybody exit, I will continue my statement.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye, Bethany.
Bye.
I'm gonna go home and watch the ball game. You tell me.
I'm gonna try to make it. I'm playing.
I would simply use one of my ball game.
Actually.
All right, so thank you for staying, those that really want to hear what is going on in Thornton Township. As you can see currently now, one of the board members exited, so they did not want to hear what's going on in Thornton Township. But this is the games that is being played with your tax dollars. These are people that you elected to sit here, but they will not stay and take care of the business. So let me tell you the reason why they left. If you go to the next page, so he's right there. It was right there to take care of the business of the people, which is give you $2.2 million and your money back to you. That was a refund. And of course, that's at my discretion, the supervisor's department, which is GA, General Assistance Department. So for those tax homeowners, make sure you.
And we talked about this before. I think this is always a bad look for a trustee to walk out when they had a quorum, walk out without the passing of an adjournment, because now it just gives her a floor to speak. And when she has a floor to speak, especially after this kind of goofy ass conduct by Gonzalez, it actually makes it look like she has a lot more viable points than she probably should. But I think she had a couple of viable points on this one. I'm not going through all of this talking because I know she's just going to talk and repeat the same thing.
Man, please stop. Please join me. Please help. Please stop letting people just drag people, because at the end of the day, me today, you tomorrow. I don't care what it is you want to do in your life. It's the same type of poison that they're trying to administer here in government that they do in corporate America. And I talked to.
Yeah, she on repeat with the same speech.
And you got to get a good team behind you. Without.
She on repeat with the same speech. So I'm gonna go through and we're gonna skip that. We're gonna pick it up at this 45-50 marker. and let it play through?
If anybody wants to talk or say something, you can. Other than that, I am still here to talk to anybody. Jamal? What? Who?
No, they
They signed in. For public comment, you gotta sign in. I signed in.
What's your name?
Taylor.
I'm sorry, what's your first name?
Janelle.
Janelle, that's, I'm sorry.
Okay, sure.
That's why I couldn't read it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, my question is, why is there only a forensic audit for just Freeman and Carlisle? Why isn't every department audited? Why is it just, because that's retaliation. That's retaliation because those two individuals were acting your behest and they were spending money.
That's a good question. I don't know if y'all heard a question. They showed the transcript at the bottom. Long story short, she wanted to know why is the forensic audit only allocated to two people, Keith Freeman and Carmen Carlisle. She said that's retaliation because essentially those are two people who are believed to be working with federal authorities.
And so,
Big question.
of course, their names appear on the credit card, but they were doing it based on what you wanted them to do. So everybody's credit card, every department, every individual who has a credit card, they all should be audited, not just those two people. I don't, it looks like clear retaliation with those two, and that was mentioned at one of the meetings with, whatever the guy's name is, where he started talking about foreign people's telephones and all that kind of stuff. That's retaliation. So audit everybody's credit card, because there's a lot of money floating around here. Too many credit cards. I see on one of these things where you are, I guess one of them to approve a credit card for the tech department. As I stated once before, there should be one department that handles all requisitions, purchases, all of that. There shouldn't be cards floating all over the place.
All right, what she's saying is real quick because she a little low. She don't got a microphone. The audit is limited to Carlisle and Freeman. It shouldn't be. Of course, their names are going to be on the credit card transactions because those were the persons responsible for making credit card transactions, even if they may have been instructed to do so by the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard. But she says it's a retaliation because those two appear to be potentially working with authorities. And there's too many cars floating around. Every card and every person who has the authority to use a car should have an audit done, which is a fair point. Now, I'm betting she's probably not going to answer this question. I'm just guessing. I haven't watched this, but I'm guessing she not.
You cannot keep controlling when too many people have credit cards. It's obvious that money is being spent some places that it should be spent. I don't know how much, how less, but a central department that handles that to solve all that problem. Everybody can have a petty cash fund for things that they need, maybe $3,000 per department, or maybe even $5,000. But it shouldn't just be, I got this big credit card, I can spend it for whatever I want to. That is not fiscal responsibility. And when you get ready, again, audit everybody's credit card. See where the money's going.
All right, you done? All right, so I'm stand up for this. This is why I tell everybody to please educate yourself. Don't I always say that? And everybody get attitude when I say it. Or I say, let me educate you. And I do that for a reason. Hold on. I know you don't have to. Ma'am, I interrupt. Let me answer your questions. And I'm only answering this, and I'm gonna be done with it because it's not a Q&A here at Thornton Township. We have Township Talk for this. Township Talk, I go back and forth as relates to let you say something, then we answer the question. I have every single department head up here at Township Talk, whereas you can ask them questions and every department will respond because it's their department that spends whatever. So, number one, You said credit card for everyone. We talked about this at the last meeting. Everyone, meaning department heads, have their own credit card. That way you know exactly what they're spending for that department, which was great. Everyone knew what was being spent, and then the board wanted to be funny and give a card strictly to one person. Well, I don't go shopping for nobody. That ain't what elite do. My job, I'm the overseer, just like I'm the overseer for everything, just like the President of the United States. You don't have a credit card, you don't go spending anything. So it don't work like that. I know you want it to work like that, and y'all work with it don't. When we came here to Thornton Township, that's how a lot of theft was happening, which I told the media about theft here in Thornton Township. When I got here, no one did or said anything about it. And guess what was happening? They had one credit card, one. So everybody had that one credit card and was spending money. I said this when I first got here. You go check meetings, and you will see that I said the same thing I'm saying today. So we fixed it. We fixed it by having each person be responsible for their department and what they spend, because they have.
I do think that's a better model too. I'm gonna just be honest. It's kind of ridiculous to have one person in any municipality or two people having credit cards. Normally, it's agency heads have the authority. Normally, agency heads have the authority to approve purchases within their particular budget. Then, under that particular agency, let's say in one agency there's 3 sections or 3 divisions. There'll probably be an overall purchase card for the agency. Then each division would probably have their own purchase card for purchases needed to be made within that division. That's normally how it goes. It's very rare that every individual within the agency and a division within the agency has a card. Normally, it's kind of limited to departments. This department has a card. This department has a card. This department has a card. This agency that all of these departments fall under, they have a card, and that's how it goes. But I do agree that that's a much easier model than just giving 2 people a card and having them to have to buy everything for everybody. That's insane, actually.
Have their own card. You can't say, if you got a card, that person did. No, that person did, because you gave it to all these people. So nobody knows who did. So we fixed that. So moving forward, when you say we should make sure we audit everybody's department, I guess you went at the last meeting. Because at the last meeting, we voted to audit every department here in Thornton Township. Every single one of them. Now, one of them was not approved to be audited. Every one of them was approved to be audited. That's where you got your information wrong in. So that's a lie. Hold on.
I remember we watched that meeting, and I think she did expressly say she wanted to look at audits of everybody's spending, and we had a discussion on whether it should be 5 years, 3 years, 7 years, and 7 to 5 years is about normal. But yeah, so I mean, hey, I don't think that's a lie. I'm not saying other stuff isn't, but hey, she keeping it a stack right there.
Let me finish. Because all your facts you're saying, this is what I've been saying about ma'am. Y'all can't ask me something, then let me respond, and then we'll go back and forth. This is why I don't do the back and forth at a meeting, because you'll be here all day. This is where township talk come in, where you come and you sit, and then people can go back and forth with you on whatever your question is. Here, we're here to take care of the business, which you didn't get taken care of, and go home. That's it. And then we hear your comment as relates to whatever your issue is. When you ask me something, I'm giving you a response. Other than that, I can tell people who say whatever their comment is, we put it in the record, and we move on. But as it relates to everybody get out. I've asked for every single department to be out. I did. The news read it different. But I'm the one put it on the agenda. That every single department here in Thornton Township get out. That's what I put on the agenda. Then I went forward. I said, go back 10 years. 10 years. Nobody want to go back 10 years. I wonder why. Y'all didn't want to unbury those bones, but you want to go back just right now, this regime. No, we're going to be fair. Do every single department so that now people know. I even dropped it from 10 to 5 years.
Hey, I don't know. Y'all think that lady was a genuine constituent asking the question, or you think that lady was a plant so that Tiffany Henyard could fire off this response? Either way is actually a good interaction for her, for Tiffany Henyard, but I don't know. I feel like it may be a little bit of gamesmanship here. I don't know if this lady question was a genuine question. She might have been like, yo, ask this question so we can fire off these talking points that are really based in fact. So far, so good.
everything I said or suggested, the board said no to. You gotta understand, Chris Gonzalez was the assessor of Thornton Township. What is he hiding? What does a lot of people hiding? That they didn't want to vote to go back the years that we were asking. Because I'm cool with everything being out, because I voted for it. I would not vote for it if I wasn't cool with it. I'm fine with it. So all I'm saying is all these mixed feelings, all these lies, all this misinformation is out, please stop. And that's why I said, if you want the tea, get it from me. If you want the truth, get it from me. But you get it from everybody that got something to say. I do this little assignment with my staff sometimes. I'll have us all sitting at a table, and I'll start at the end. I'll tell this person something on the end, and I'll say, now whisper it in everybody ear, and let it go around the circle. Do you know by the time you get to the second, third person, do you know whatever I said in the first person, it changed to something he said, and then vice versa when it got to the fifth person, to the eighth person. Okay, well then you know that. So what I'm saying is, all of this is going on, but no one is paying attention, because that's how it goes. People just say something and then when
All right, that question, I don't know how genuine that question was. That question might have been some gamesmanship and a little bit of plant action going on. But I don't know. The big takeaway from that meeting, and of course, the village of Thornton had a meeting tonight, and I'll probably chop that up and do some reactions to that for anything we can pull out that's interesting. The big takeaway from this meeting is sometimes in trying to make a stand, you can actually make yourself look goofy. And I think that's what Trustee Gonzalez did in this particular instance. There was no reason to walk out. There was no reason to announce that you were unprepared. I don't know. There was no reason not to adopt the rules, formally adopt the rules that you say we are already using. All of that shit just makes sense. Like, that's when you know shit is getting silly. You make a fight for good things that need to be fought for, but when you start challenging stupid shit that shouldn't be fought for, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous. I just don't think that last question was genuine though. Like, she might have been a plant, because that was an easy question. It was easy for Tiffany Henyard to respond. Her response was based in fact, because I've seen those previous videos where she asked for those things. If that was a plant, that was a smart person to plant to ask that particular question. Yeah, she is trying to dodge bullets she fired. If you think there's anything involving her that's legitimate, you're mistaken. No matter what you stand on her, she only wanted these positions to steal. I don't disagree with that, but I think her response to that question was accurate. All I could do is call a spade a spade. If it looked janky and is a crime, I'm gonna call it. If it's something that she does that seems like a salient point, I think is a salient point. I just don't know. That seemed like a layup. You know how you put a plant in the audience to ask a question so you could get an easy alley-oop and score 2 points? I don't know if that was a genuine question. It seemed too easy to be true, seemed too good to be true. So I'm thinking that question was a layup question just to give her a very good talking point. But it could have been a genuine question. But that lady had her facts all wrong, and I just know that her facts was wrong because I've watched the videos where she did ask for everyone to be audited. She did want it to go back 10 years. So I don't know. It could be disingenuous. It could be legitimate. Real quick, before we jump out of here, I just want to show y'all. Let me see if I can pull these images up. I want to show y'all these 2 cases I got. We're not going to read them. I just want to show them to y'all because these are actually interesting. We're going to share the window. All right, let's see if we got it. Let's make it a little bit larger so we can see it. All right, these are the 2 cases we're going to dive in on Friday. This is the October 6th decision of the Illinois Court of Appeals, where they found that the recall against Tiffany Henyard in her capacity as mayor was invalid. We're going to actually break it down because I know that there was some administrative blunders, but as we were talking about it in previous videos, I was like, yo, what did they fuck up? Why couldn't they recall her? And we're going to break it down. This is actually a relatively long opinion, but don't worry about it. I'm not going to read all of it. What I'm going to do is break out the pertinent points that we need to understand why the recall effort against her as a mayor was unsuccessful. And before we look in this one on Friday, we're going to have to go look at this case. This was a case with Tiffany Henyard, Stanley Brown, and Robert Hunt Jr. actually challenged recall effort as well, and is actually interesting. It goes to show that, hey, Tiffany Henyard has some familiarity with how recalls should be done in accordance with Illinois law. This is another decision by the Illinois Court of Appeals. We're going to start with the first case first. So we're going to start with the 2016 case to get some background. Again, I'm not going to go through this entire case. I'm going to break it out so I can pull out the salient points. I might put it on a Word document or a PowerPoint or something so it's easy to read. Then after we knock this out, we're going to look at the lessons she learned from this 2016 litigation to be successful in her 2022 litigation that kept her in her position of mayor. So that's going to be interesting because I thought it was interesting because I wanted to know the background. Yo, that's it for this video. I want to do something short so we can talk about it. I'm about to get ready to hop off here. As always, I thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. I thank everybody for viewing, for commenting. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Chris, Maui, Legal Focus, my homegirl over there. Everybody who chimed in, who tuned in, I appreciate y'all. I'm trying to go back to make sure. Pro Woman for the comments. I appreciate everybody who chimed in and commented. I appreciate all the members. Remember, members, y'all produce the show. So if y'all got a topic, y'all got access to me directly. And all the pre-recorded content, you all get 24 hours to 48 hours early before anybody else get to see it, because I thank you all for powering the content. Y'all take care. Be blessed. Have a good one. Peace.